Hello and welcome to Gutter Farms. We're back with another episode of Nebraska Lands, and today we are going to be trying to figure out the spraying contract that I picked up at the end of the last episode. So we have our sprayer all set up here, and oh my goodness, we're gonna have to turn that off. I always forget to turn off the open HUD with mouse is each individual vehicle for courseplay. I wish that was a global setting that I could set once and forget about it. Alas, we will complain about it every time it happens until they give me an option. Anyhow, we're gonna head on down the road here and try to find, try and find our way over to the fill point. I don't think I need to go through the neighborhood there. I think there's a road down here somewhere to go get ourselves some spray. We haven't had a chance to drive through the town yet, so this will be kind of fun. Nice small little town here. Whoops. Let's not take out all the parked cars. It's funny, I was just in rural Minnesota a few weeks back, and these little towns like this where it's a grain elevator, a handful of houses, and one little stretch of main road is so accurate. I love the feel on this map. CCS 101 definitely did a good job of capturing that small town rural feel. And it looks like we've got a nice big spray setup over here. Got a anhydrous fill point as well. I'm not sure how well that plays with precision farming at this point still. In the past, I tried to use the anhydrous ready version of precision farming, and man, that messed up all kinds of stuff with precision farming and some other things. It just didn't work out for me, so I won't be doing that again. So we may just have to take a pass on the anhydrous. We'll see. I'll have to do some research and see if there's a better way to handle that. This has got to be the fill point, right? Oh, thank goodness it's liquid fertilizer. I was worried one of these was liquid fertilizer and one of them was going to be herbicide, and I just kind of pulled up in the middle of them. I was going to get rid of that point on the map, but it disappeared on its own. So let's see about heading out here. I think this is another one of those pieces of equipment that are around the map as a decorative item that we could also just borrow and use free of charge. So here I am. Which field was it that we've got a contract for? It's field 10, which is this nice long strip of a field over here. This is going to be perfect. So I want to head over there. I don't know where the roads run around here, but I'm gonna try and get on this road across from me. I don't feel like this is an official railroad crossing, but we're gonna take it because the road I want to be on is right here. I'm sure no farmer in history has ever crossed a railroad track in an unintended crossing, although those rails are actually quite steep, so it would be probably pretty dangerous, depending on what equipment you're trying to haul, to even make an attempt to get across a railroad track at a non-official crossing. But luckily for us, we're in Farm Sim here, and we can save ourselves a lot of time by taking a quick shortcut here and there. Now, this should be our field right here on the right, if I'm not mistaken. It looks right. Now, I told myself I wasn't going to need GPS, but looking at this field, we could have probably done this one manually. That's all right. We're going to come out here and use this as an opportunity to test out how well this particular mod is going to work with, oops, why is it trying to do that? I've got my mic in the way. I can't quite see the text on the bottom here sometimes. Course play field work. We're going to generate a course, 1 tool, 2 headlands. We are going to do up, down rows because we don't need to skip or anything. Generate a course. This should go super fast because these are square fields. Just like that, nice and easy. Start off on the first waypoint here for me, guy. Look at how wide this thing is. I can't even get him all on the same screen. And here we go. We're off to the races. Now, sometimes I like to run auto, and sometimes we change the amount of fertilizer we're spraying when we're doing contract jobs. We are going to do that because I'm already using up 5% before I've even gotten to the end of the row here. So hang on, let me do that. We're going to go to nearest waypoint, and how do I change my spray amounts? So B to turn on, and then I can do K and M. Here we go. All right, we're gonna do it that way. Let's see if this is still gonna work with the contract. All right, it's working. So now we're spraying. We're not gonna put down the huge amount. We're gonna try and step these fields up incrementally as we do these contract jobs, because otherwise we're gonna go broke and spend a ton of time going back and forth. So this is my kind of balancing things out a little bit for the size of the map. We're scaling down our work ever so slightly, just to make things be a little bit more reasonable. As you can see, this job is already going to take 30 minutes to run, probably more by the time we have to run back and forth with some fertilizer. Even on a manual application rate at the lowest value we have, I'm already 83% through on the field here. So I will be refilling this guy most likely before I finish the headlands. Which is fine. It's fine. We will get through that. We would love to get a sprayer support trailer for the semi at some point. I know there's a couple of good ones out there, so I might have to start shopping around for one of those if this goes well and we can actually make a reasonable amount of profit doing this job. So let me work on getting around the field here. I'm going to play with some settings. We're going to get rid of some of these windows. I'm going to see what I can do to make things look nice again, and maybe I'll even remember how to do some time-lapse segments here on some of this field work. All right, we are back, and I have started the second pass of the headlands here, and we're only at 5% left in the hopper here. That is a problem. We're not going to even get to the end of the field, I don't think, at this rate. So as you can see, these fields are ginormous. We're spraying fertilizer on the lowest amount that we possibly can here. Our application rate is only 12 liters per hectare. Man, we are going to use so much spray doing these contracts. I'll be curious to see if it's really worth it or not. We're going to have to take a look at the menu here, but as you can see, I just ran out. So I'm going to have to go fill up and then run back down here, and hopefully I can figure out where we last left off. I know there's the last waypoint on course play, but I don't think that works the way that I think it does. I think that we need to go to the nearest waypoint and go back to where we left off. So we're going to give it a try, though. We're going to just zip down here, though. I don't even know if there's a road anymore, so we do have to run down the headlands a little bit here. And I am seeing that there's a bit of a path here alongside this other field. And we've got a crossing here. We're doing a terrible job of going across on it. I should have gone around that power pole instead of trying to squeeze in between it. I forget how wide this thing is to turn sometimes. But I think this path is going to take me all the way back out over there to where the fill point is. So we're going to try this out, see if we can save ourselves a little bit of headache here. It might not go to where I think it's going to go, though, and we'll still end up having to skirt around this field. But I thought I saw that there's a path over here. And as I get over here, there's definitely not a path here. Well, you know what that means, folks. We're going to have to sneak over here and just do it the old-fashioned way. Next time we'll just hop the tracks, I think, like we did before, and call it a day. I'm really surprised to see a road on either side here, but no crossing point right here. This would have been a perfect crossing point to get between those two parts of the map. Alas, it is what it is. I'm gonna come in the other entrance this time and see if it makes more sense for me to circle around. Now, obviously, I could set up an auto drive course here and have this guy go and refill automatically whenever he gets emptied out. So let me try here. Nope. No, that is herbicide. So I was lucky. These are the two different fill points. One's herbicide, one's fertilizer. So let me empty that back out. How do I empty that? That was a wasted $1,500. And I can't fill it this one. Hang on, I think I have to like exit the zone and come back into it. There we go. All right, only $6 grand for the fertilizer. Not as bad as I was thinking it was gonna be, but we're gonna have to get back out to the field now and see not only if we can figure out where we left off, but also how many rounds we're gonna be able to make once we're doing the up downs. I don't know how big of a deal this is gonna be, having to run back and forth here. I definitely don't want to have an auto drive course that's trying to jump the tracks like that. I don't think that's going to work out very well for me at all, so we'd have to probably go around the section. But I think that the road that we're going to up here goes all the way up and over and back down. I don't think there's a way to get around field 7 here. Next time, though, we're going to try it. We're going to go take a look when we get there, and maybe there is a little road there. I see some telephone poles going, so there's at least hope that maybe we can find a better path to go down here. At least going this way, I can sneak through here and take the headland back, start getting this guy unfolded. And the nice thing with this, and I could turn the auto drive course on, or the course play course, so I could see it here as well, but the nice thing with vehicles this wide is I'm not in danger of hopping onto the wrong line when we're driving back down here. I'm usually going to pick up the correct spray line. We can expand our wheelbase a little bit, give us some stability out here in the field, and we drove right past the end of our work area here. So I'm going to back myself up just a little bit. And then we're going to lose the mouse on the screen, like always. Oh, I was off a couple rows. Auto steer is going to kick in and help me out with that. And there we go. We're off to the races again. Just dumping tons of fertilizer into this field. Thankfully, we should be pretty good to go here. Can I not do a big map? There we go. Big map's not as helpful as I thought it would be. If we take a look here, after we get done with this headland, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half up-down passes to do in this field. So if I used a whole tank doing 1, 2, we'll say 3 with the headlands, I'm going to have to fill up 2 more times before we're all done with this field. So yeah, not as hands-off as I was hoping. Now, what I'm trying to do here is do the first spray without letting the worker buy anything, and I want to see just a general idea of how much money we're going to make off of this contract where I'm running up and getting the fertilizer and dealing with everything. I think the much easier path here is going to be to let the worker get refilled by the co-op, i.e. turn on the AI buys fill options in the menu. I don't typically use those, but you know, as I think about this series and what we want to do, what I really want to do is see us have a lot of equipment and a lot of jobs going at the same time. Right now, we've only got the one contract going, But at times this list has had, you know, 10, 20 different contracts. And so if I could get a couple of good big size harvesters out here going and keeping them running while I'm bouncing around and getting fertilizers and maybe some tillage going on some other vehicles, I think that's the play. And I'm just looking, this is another 100-acre field. But if we got some really big tillage and just put a guy out there to work and let him go, the idea being that not everybody kind of comes due at the same time, and it gives me some things to switch around between and kind of keep a bunch of jobs going. I think that that would be more interesting than sitting here and handling one job for the next 2 to 3 hours. In the case of spraying, we're going to knock this field out in 30 minutes. But even this field, this is a 95-acre field. These are the small fields on this map. And so if I'm going to take 30 minutes on the smallest field, that means that even a spraying job could take a couple of hours as we jump into some of these bigger fields. So that's where my head's at right now. I'm still trying to think about how I want to continue on through this series. We're using it as kind of a learning experience. We're knocking off the rust, trying to remember how everything works. We'll slowly pick up some more mods, try some different things out. So this is going to be my test bed series. And then we're also going to revive several other series on the channel. So if you've been looking for more UMRV, I definitely want to get that one done. I think we did 95 episodes, and it'd feel good to say I did 100 episodes on a single map. So I've got to get at least 5 more episodes into UMRV, and maybe in that amount of time, we could kind of wrap up that playthrough. Maybe it'll go a little bit longer than 100 episodes. I don't know. But we're going to do at least some more over there. And then as some of you very kindly reminded me in the comments, we had a Missouri River bottom map that I'd already set up with the equipment and everything to start doing cotton. And so I probably won't try and do cotton in this map on Nebraska. We will jump back over to that save that we already had up and running that series, and we will do some cotton over there to knock out the cotton achievement real quick. So those are the series that I know that we're going to be knocking videos out on. This one's delayed several days past when the last video came out because unfortunately my furnace stopped working, and it's been in the 30s here at night. And so we've been dealing with trying to get that fixed and doing some other stuff the last couple of days. It's been keeping me busy. So we will be getting these videos out hopefully a little bit more regularly here over the next few days. But it's going. We've got the workflow set back up again, and I've been getting back into editing. My editor is currently busy with some other stuff right now, so I'm back to a one-man show for a little while, and we'll try and do our best to get back to multiple videos a week and see how it goes. And as long as we're doing a bit of a news update or just talking shop, so to speak, I am reminded I've got my video on in the corner here. That's something new that we're doing with this series. And if I'm being honest, it was by accident. I left it on in the first video because I had been streaming or using the streaming setup before, and I just didn't bother to look over at the OBS window close enough before I started recording. And lo and behold, there the camera was still on, so I just left it on for the rest of the video. And since we started that way, we're going to keep going this way for the series. So let me know what you think about that. Not that I'm vain enough to think anybody wants to stare at my ugly mug all the time. However, I've been watching some different videos on YouTube and stuff, and I find that personally I like to see the person that's talking sometimes, and I thought we'd try it out on this series. I don't know if it's something we'll keep doing or not. I always put myself out there when I'm streaming because I feel like when I'm interacting with people especially, it pays to have somebody that you can actually look at and put a face to the voice. And sometimes I may make very interesting facial expressions as horrible things happen to me in these games. So that may be entertaining as well. But it's something new we're trying out. Let me know what you think of it. We may make a change at a later point down the road. But I just thought I'd comment on it as we plow through this field. Well, we're not actually plowing, we're spraying, but as we make our way through this field, there's not a whole lot to do on the farm right now unless I wanted to take out another big harvest contract, which I'm really hesitant to do until we upgrade that equipment. So I'm kind of on the fence right now as to what we want to do. Not that that combine isn't big enough, but it's that I think I need 2 combines running to really tackle these larger fields. And I know I keep saying we're not going to take out a loan, but we might do something to get 2 combines up and running pretty quickly here, because I think that's going to make the episodes way more interesting. And as a couple of people pointed out, I should have taken my equipment to the store to sell it because I would have got a lot more money for it, which is something I always forget about. It's such a weird mechanic to me. But we need to get a fair amount of money banked up here if we're going to buy a new combine. You know, this combine here, not going to sell for a whole lot, right? When we sell it. But if I wanted to buy something new, and I don't have a lot of mods installed right now, but you know, a 790 is $700,000, right? If I got, do I have an X9 in here, right? You know, if I want to go for something big, I need $700,000 before the header. And that's a lot of money, where the base game equipment is obviously way cheaper, maybe not very realistic, but I just feel like I'm in this weird spot where I'm trying to replace base game equipment with much better stuff, but it's going to cost me some money to get it done. Luckily, we ran out of spray in just the right spot while I was talking there, so we're not going to have to run back up the field. And I'm going to attempt to head down this road, and we're going to see where this takes us. I'm hoping that there is a crossroad up here that I've just missed, and we can take the short block around, because if we can, this may be worth setting up that auto drive course for. If we can't, I don't think I want to wait for auto drive to go all the way around, you know, a bigger block. It looks like there's a road here, so I've misread the map, which is actually a good thing for us. Is this the main road that we already had an auto drive course on? It is. How did I mess that up? Well, let me then, at least, while we're going back here, we're going to set up... Yeah, we're going to set up an auto drive course down to the spray point here and see if we can get that going. Now, my fear is that with the 2 different triggers there, I'm going to have a hard time getting auto drive to go into the right one for loading up the spray like I did. So it may end up being not an auto drive point that we use for filling automatically, but more just one that I use to get the vehicle over there, and then I have to manually intervene, which I always hate, but sometimes it is what it is. I think I am going to come from the other side, though. I think I'll have a better chance of it stopping in the liquid fertilizer spot if we come in from the liquid fertilizer side. And these driveways are pretty small, so I'm not going to be too picky about driving into the grass. I definitely need to come forward a little bit more with this. I'm going to fill up while I'm here. I think I want the point to be 1 tick farther there. That tick will be the actual point. This is fill point liquid fertilizer, and then around we go. This combine is going to give me grief at some point. I know it. All right, and then all I have to do is bring this back out to the main road, fix my intersections, and it will be good to go. As always, I think about it too late. I should probably just set up all these side roads as 2A roads, but it is what it is. Oh, stop. We're creating too many wonky things, but maybe if I curve this a little bit, that'll look good. And then similarly, we want to take this and bring him in right there. And I want to take this and potentially have him go the other way sometimes. I like it. Down to the next intersection, we'll create a little path to get over to field 10. And I am making paths to some of these smaller fields on the map because as contracts pop up, I want to likely grab them again. These 100-acre contracts are going to be nice bite-sized things for us to get into as we're starting out here. And then we can ramp up to some of these bigger fields as we get a little bit more equipment and stuff unlocked. Now, back to my conversation about the store-bought equipment. I'm thinking about doing a full swap of some of the base game equipment that we have with modded equipment that's similar-ish in size. Like, you know, we'll swap our combine out for another big combine kind of a thing, and just get what we want. That way, when we're upgrading into equipment that's the same. Like, I'll have duplicates of certain pieces of equipment because course play always works better when you're running multiples of the same thing rather than a bunch of different equipment at the same time on a single field. We can have different sets of equipment, but if I'm going to run 2 combines out in a field, for example, I find most of the time it works the best if they're the same. As opposed to, even if you've got the same size header, just the different mods sometimes work a little different. They have different turning radiuses and things like that. So we want to just be cognizant of that. Now here, I'm going to drive, out into the field and have this be field 10. Okay. Let's stop recording there. Actually, let's start recording, and then I'm gonna just have a loop here that takes me right back out the way we came. And then when we head back out in a little bit here, I'm gonna pick this path back up. We'll take it up to the corner, and then we'll be able to let auto drive do its thing, even though by the time we take that one last path, I think we'll be done with this field. It is what it is, though. We'll have it there for next time. If I'd done a better job of getting things ready right out of the gate, we could have saved ourselves some time in this field, maybe. Go ahead and start this guy off. We've got 10 minutes left, like 3 or 4 passes left to go in this field. I'm just taking a look over here at the big map. We're only about halfway done with the up-down rows. So we've got at least one more trip up to fill up the spray here. Either way, let me knock out a few acres here real quick, and we'll be back when we're ready to head this guy up to the shop and try and test out this auto drive course. Well, I almost missed it, but we just finished the contract here on field 10. So I'm going to stop this. We're not going to bother spraying on the way back down the field because we're cheap. And if the farmer says we're done, we're done. Now, this contract is supposed to make just shy of 60 or just over 67,000 here. So I'm going to go ahead and collect my money on this contract. And then let me take a look at our financial data here today. And I should have not vehicle leasing costs. That was for other things. Man, I thought I would have a specific breakdown for fertilizer costs because we bought fertilizer, but it didn't show up in here. It must have gotten lost in the miscellaneous payments segment, which is unfortunate because I wanted to calculate how much money we made off of that contract, and I did not pay close enough attention to how much we were buying each time. We ran up there with this fertilizer sprayer, but I've only reloaded it a total of 3 times. We started with a full tank, and then I reloaded it 2 more times after that, and I've still got a little bit left in there. So if I go, well, I've got some in there, so I won't get a full number, but if I go up there and refill this real quick, just because I want to finish that little piece of auto drive course and get a rough estimate of how much we're using, that will let me figure out how much this is going to cost. The thing with the camera, when I shut it off to do the time lapses, if I don't remember to turn it back on, I'm not there anymore. We'll try to be more consistent with it as we move forward. But yeah, we're gonna do that. I know I'm rambling. We're going to run back up here. We're gonna fill this up, get a rough idea of what it costs, and then do some maths. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I left the course open, yep, across the road here. So I will start recording from here. And of course, it's gonna grab from the wrong point. Fix that up real quick. There we go. Okay. Again, with the, I really should have made this a 2-way road. All right, I've got my intersections all fixed up there. I think we're good to go. Let's change this up to a, which one is this? Load. I want to go to our fill point liquid fertilizer and fill liquid fertilizer, drive forth and do. We just got to remember to change him before he gets the other one. I don't know if there's a another mode here, but I know this one will work. So that's what we're going to use, just to test out that this is all working. With a map of this size, even going 32 miles an hour with these faster implements, it still takes a long time to get across the map. As far as refilling goes, this works when we're in one of these fields up near the farm or up near the fill point, but man, we're definitely going to need to have a support semi somewhere to do our refilling near the field if we start trying to tackle anything that's more than, you know, 1 block away from a fill point, because this map is so huge. So the more I think about this, the more I'm not sure if this fill point is more for that semi that we're going to have, that's going to have lots of fertilizer in it that we bring out to the edge of the field, or, you know, if we're actually going to just have a fleet of sprayers and not worry about it and let them run back and forth to the fill point here on their own. And if it takes them a little longer and uses some fuel, yeah, not a big deal. So we're thinking about it still. I haven't decided what the best path forward is going to be. But we definitely filled up, and then I don't want to go here though. Let's take him back up to the shop and see how that goes. This combine probably needs to move still, but it looks like we've navigated around him successfully. What I didn't do though, that I think we need to do, or did I do it? Yeah, did we set up a proper intersection here? I did do that. I know I set that one up on the way over here, and it looks like we've got this one going now as well, so that's perfect, and it even worked well. I love when a plan works out. So yeah, that's the thing. If you set up your stuff right when you do it in the first place, it just kind of works from that point on. So let me get this guy back up to the shop here, and we will take a look at the board and figure out what we're going to do next. So just taking a look at our finances here, for people that are curious, we didn't do this last time, but the bales that we sold off of the field totaled $117,000, which is actually not too bad. The contract income from the 2 fields that we've done, both the spraying contract, which was 60 something that we just did, and the other contract was only $133,000, and that little bit extra wheat we had left over sold for a whole $492. And so when people ask, were the bales worth it? It was a lot of work, and we did spend $4,000 to lease a trailer for that period of time, but the bales were worth way more than the contract was worth. It just kind of comes down to how much time you think things were worth. And oh my gosh, we went and refilled this, and I didn't look at how much money that cost me. That was the whole point of going over there. I'm sure everybody else looked, and I didn't. So let me pause the recording. I'm gonna go look at the video evidence and see how much it was costing us. All right, so I went back and looked, and it was actually costing us $6,300 and something to fill from empty to full. So with that, this may actually be my full price just for buying spray, because we refilled 3 times for the contract. We wasted some herbicide, and then I just topped off again at the end. So 6, 12, 18, we'll call it probably 20,000 in spray costs to spray the field, and we only made a 60,000 something total on that field. So we're only making like $40,000 for that amount of work, which, I mean, yeah, we made 40 grand for 20 minutes, 30 minutes of work. That'd be awesome in real life. But in as far as farm sim goes, we weren't making money like I thought we were going to on these spray contracts. I hit my debug key and making sure I got it turned off so it doesn't lag my game out. So with that, we're going to get this guy brought up to the shed. We're going to get him parked because we don't have any more spraying contracts. We have a cultivation contract we could do that's on another field. I think this is the field we harvested, isn't it? Field 26. The easy way to find out is that where I've got my thing. Yeah, so I could do a cultivation contract out there. We should have started this while we were doing the spraying. I sold our high-speed tiller though. What would a new piece of tillage equipment cost, and do I have something bigger? We had this, which I sold, that goes 11. I've got 10 meters, 15 meters for the sunflower. So this would technically be bigger but goes slower. And in the cultivate, I don't run a lot of tillage anymore. I don't have anything out here either. So I don't think we're going to pick up a cultivation contract right now. I think what we're going to do is park this, and we're going to bump the time forward 1 month, and we're going to see what new contracts pop up and make a decision about what we're going to do from an equipment perspective and a job perspective as we do that. All right, we have moved forward into September now, and we're just going to hop in here. We have a spraying contract on a 327 acre field. Oh my goodness. And then I've got that same cultivation contract over here on field 26, which I know I could go knock out. And then field 60, we've got a wheat harvest of field 65. So we've still got these same harvest contracts that we did before. These fields are ginormous though. And we've got some other miscellaneous stuff that's pretty hands-off. So here's what I think we're going to do. I have completely changed my mind looking at the contracts here and thinking about how I want this series to run. We are going to take out a loan. We're going to get as much equipment as we can out here and moving on the fields as we can so that we can start raking in the money. We're going to make a profit on every job we do, and we should be able to pay off equipment pretty quickly once we start stacking it up. There's just no way we're going to be able to grind this out with one piece of equipment. You know, jobs are going to take 4+ hours at a shot to do, and I'll never get new content out because I have to spend 6 hours to make every video. So we're going to go big. This farm is going to be our, huzzah to, oh my gosh, I'm losing contracts. I thought I was on half speed. We're on 1x speed. We're talking, and I just lost out on my spray contract. Anyway, this is going to be our big huzzah to FS22 map, and we might as well. We're losing contracts left and right. Can I push this button to get more contracts? I can. We're going to use that too. But as I've been trying to say for 2 minutes, it feels like, if this is going to be our big huzzah to FS22. Let's get a bunch of equipment. Let's get a bunch of contracts going. Let's have this map filled up with a whole bunch of different jobs going on and have a little bit of fun. So with that, the first thing we're going to do is accept some of these contracts before they go away. I'm going to grab the spraying contract because we have that equipment. I'm also going to grab the fertilizer. Oh my gosh, 1,000 acres. Why are these contracts disappearing so quickly when I've got the speed of the game turned down so far? Sorghum or wheat? Well, we haven't done sorghum. Fertilizing at $800,000. Make sure to fill the tool. I can use any fertilizer I want, though. Man, that's some pretty good money. I wonder if dry fertilizer would have lasted me longer on this sprayer. We might set up a second sprayer as a dry fert sprayer. Where are my contracts going? This is ridiculous. I'm on half speed. The contract window should not be flying by this quickly. Well, I better lock in this sorghum contract before it goes away, and we'll start knocking these out here real quick. I'm gonna get a worker started on each of these, and then we will see how things go. Now I am still in flight mode from doing the video, which always messes me up because I can't get in and out of vehicles. And we're gonna get the sprayer going first because he's the easier of the two, and then we will get the combine out and moving in this field. Actually, we should do them in the opposite order because it takes a lot longer for the combine to start harvesting and getting things moving. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna grab the combine next. Left it in here. We had to move the tongue a little bit, and it's weird because if you stand on the outside when you try to do this, the door goes open and closed. I can't manage the door. So I'm gonna get this job started with the combine that we have. We just talked about buying a bunch of equipment, and while we got these jobs going, we're gonna sort out buying equipment and what we want to do on the farm and taking out loans and all that stuff on our downtime in between keeping this equipment moving, because otherwise I do a lot of sitting around both ways. And it's field 13 that I'm looking for here on the map to start our harvest contract. Field 13 is going to be just out of town and down the road, so that's easy because it means we will be able to set up an auto drive destination without any hassle whatsoever once we get out there. But it does mean I have to drive out to the field manually in the first place. So that's always a small bummer as we're getting going on this new map. And I'm going to avoid the mess of that corner and cut through the parking lot here, I think. This should be a little bit easier for me. Auto drive in this big combine pulling a header trailer doesn't always work out so well. And I think field 13 is going to be the one just past this cornfield I can see up on my left. I think I can see in the distance that we've got some sorghum in the fog there. One of the things I'm hoping with FS25, with the increased lighting and graphic quality and all that good stuff that they seem to improve, is that we'll have less fog and better visuals. It feels like FS22 is always so dull, and the sight distances are just kind of mediocre. Even when I crank my graphics settings up so I can render crops all the way out, it always feels so hazy to me. So I'm really hoping that there's some options in FS25 to have a much more crisp view of the world. Alright, so we're out here. I'm gonna have to put this header on. Luckily, there's no traffic on this map, as far as I can tell. So I'm gonna just drop the header right here in the middle of the road. We're gonna swing around and grab it. Not that I've never hooked a header up on the road before in real life. Get this all set up. Unfold my combine. And we will not be doing straw on this map. I don't even remember if sorghum drops a straw swath, but we're gonna find out. It doesn't look like it does. And we'll set up a real quick course play course. Generate. We're gonna do 2 headlands like we did before, but one lesson I learned is rows per land. I'm gonna take this up to 10. We don't need to do as much cutting in and out. We're gonna generate, and we're going to start him off, and man, this is gonna go forever. Look at the size of this field. The field's so big I can't even see the other side of it. 5.5 hours. My goodness. Well, while we let that go, I'm gonna bring the semi out there. I forgot to record the destination path in auto drive here, so we're gonna go do that with this real quick so we can get that out there in just a minute, and then we'll go get this sprayer going as well, because that's not gonna take as long, and it's gonna require a little bit more management of getting back and forth to the what do you call it, the fill point, although we will be able to use auto drive to send him back and fill up, I think, because that worked out fine when we tested it at the end of the last field. So this should be good as long as I remember to make the auto drive loop at the front end before we even start the spraying contract. I want to make sure that I've got a full auto drive loop. We might need to get ourselves a farm truck that I can just run out auto drive courses with to fields and stuff before we start moving equipment out there. Might work out a little bit better for us. And we're out here. Let's go ahead and turn on the auto drive. Get this going. And drop it down a few gears. We are going to record from somewhere out here. I almost don't even want to have it auto connect to the previous point. I want my own point here. And then we just... That's not going to let me create a nice curve. All right. We're going to bring it right on out here. And I'm going to do what we did in the other field, which is create a little part where we come off onto the headland. This is field 13. And then we will have a loop. And we'll loop right back onto the road. We might go into the neighbor's field a smidge here. These paths are just so narrow. And here we're gonna stop. I'm gonna back up, and I will use the mouse to create my ins and outs. So like here, we need a nice curve. Here we need a nice curve. Coming in, we're gonna need a nice curve. Or if we're coming from this way, I'm gonna curve in like that. Hopefully give me some room to get around these telephone poles. All right, I think I've got them all. And now we just need to look at the contract and hope that this is going to the same place as the other one. No, Central Valley Ag. So tag place, look at map, look for flashing. Oh, right here. All right. Well, I know where that is. I just need to figure out how to get over there. I know my combine is getting full. He's at 83% already. He's gonna have to just wait while we get this all set up. We'll zip on down here into town and see about running this course over to the fill point. Luckily, I've got auto drive courses through most of town, so this shouldn't take too long. I am going to come back down by the the shop, and go through the main road in town to get down there. I'm not going to try and cut through the neighborhoods. I don't think that would work out too well for us anyway. Here we are, and I went too far. I think it's actually on the other side of the tracks. I was so concentrated on our horrible path on the road here that I wasn't looking at where the destination was. So what we're gonna do, since I'm on this side, we'll create a path from this side, then I'll just manually hook the intersection back up when we get back out here. So record. I have to fix that one too. And just drive on in here. Don't hit the trucks. That's the exit. It's a big sign, so we're gonna treat it like an exit. And I'm gonna swing wide into this place so I can have a nice big turn onto the weight ramp. The scales. And then we're gonna head straight through here. I'm waiting to hear one more tick. There's a tick. This is gonna be... Oh man, what was the name of the sell point? Central Valley Ag. Central Valley Ag. All right. Then let's keep going here. I just want to take a moment and move a couple of these points into the center of this grid so that we're not clipping into the wall so bad. Should be good. And our last major point of concern is making sure I don't get caught on this fence. So I'm going to come right back out here. And we're going to head right like this. Trying to avoid all these parked cars hanging out into my road. And here we go. All right. It's intersection time. Oh, that train is loud. And it's a longer train, which I like. It feels more realistic. I won't like it when I end up having to wait for it inevitably sometime, but, you know, we like the realism when it doesn't affect us negatively. Okay, that way, and then I need a path that goes this way. All right, this is all set up, so let's go to, is it Field 13? And then we're gonna sell at Central Valley Ag, and we're doing Sorghum Drive. Let's get rid of this. We're gonna get this guy out to Field 13. We gotta just get everybody going here. We've been monkeying around too much with our auto drive setups, but that's just because we have an incomplete course at the start of the map here. And I'm really hoping we can just start knocking out lots and lots of work from here on out. Oh my goodness, that fire hydrant got us again. At least the semi powered through. I could be using auto drive to bring this guy out, but I need to get him going anyway. The combine's been just sitting around, so we're just gonna drive on out ourselves. All right, as I make my way past our semi there into the field, I can see that the combine stopped right in the corner. So it didn't even make it, you know, part of the way around the headland. It just took this one end off and got full. This field is ginormous. We're gonna have so much crops to haul from here. We're gonna have to really make sure these auto drive courses are working properly, because if I get hung up on a bunch of stuff and I have to keep monkeying with it, we are going to have a bad time on a map this big. And yeah, So, like I said, we're going to be getting these contracts up and running. We're going to get all of our automation set up on both these fields, and then we're going to buy some more equipment and really get this series going head on, because I think it's going to take us that long to really get our equipment sorted out and do all the things in between managing these fields. So let me know in the comments below. List out your favorite equipment, what you think we should get on the map, because I'm gonna go for all modded equipment. This base game stuff is all well and good, but it's time to really shake things up and get some fancier equipment. Oh, really? You're gonna try and go down the headlands with me? I don't think so. Stop. Hey, put your pipe back up. Anyway, we're not going to deal with all these telephone poles all the way down. I'm almost positive that they've got collisions. Really? You're too far away? I think we're going to wrap up today's episode here before I get really frustrated with everything. We will get this stuff sorted out. We will get it working, and we'll be back next episode with a plan in play, some really cool stuff. What am I stuck on? Oh, the guide wire. That is the strongest guide wire I've ever seen. I am distracted like a dog chasing a squirrel here today. I apologize. We'll be back next episode with a plan, with some new equipment, and doing lots of contracts. That's all for today. Ketterk, out. And as we make... Oh my gosh. Stop. You can... Oh my gosh, you can clearly see that I'm here. Stop driving, you moron.